He wrote her letters in the mud, ink trembling with frostbite and fear. "Tell our son I'll be home by Christmas," he lied, beneath a sky that rained fire. She waited in their vineyard, belly swelling with hope, heart caving under silence. When the final letter arrived, it wasn't his handwriting. The last line said, "He smiled when he said your name." The grapes ripened that year, but she never drank wine again. They say the war ended in 1918. But for Margot, it never did. She still lived in that house on the hill, the one they swore they'd grow old in. The vines behind it withered during the war. The laughter inside turned to silence. And though the front was miles away, the battle found her in paper cuts and tear stains. Henri's letters were the only parts of him that came home. First letter came wrapped in a pressed violet. "To my dearest Margot," it read, "I carry your name like a charm against bullets. My hands tremble not from fear, but from the cold. I miss the warmth of your skin more than my own breath." She read it beneath their fig tree, the one he carved their initials into the day before he left. The carving had faded. But his words didn't. He promised he'd return by Christmas. She believed him. Henri wrote from the trenches of Verdun. Mud swallowed boots. Rain fell sideways. Rats feasted on bodies they didn't have the decency to fear. "They say we are holding the line," he wrote. "But I feel more like the earth is holding us down, burying us before we're dead." Sometimes, he sent pressed flowers. Sometimes, sketches of birds he hadn't seen in months. Each letter was shorter than the last. But always ended with, "Tell our son I'll be home by Christmas." Margot waited. She watered the vines. She knitted baby socks, though she didn't know if it would be a boy. She sang lullabies into the wind. And when she felt the baby kick, she whispered, "That's your papa saying hello." Then the letters stopped. No explanation. No final goodbye. Just silence. The vines overgrew the trellis, wild and unpruned. The baby came. A boy. She named him Henri, after a man he would never meet. 6 weeks after the armistice, a letter came. But it wasn't in Henri's handwriting. It was smudged. Folded wrong. The ink ran where tears once fell. "Dear Madame Lefebvre," it began. "Your husband was found beneath the ruins at Fort Vaux. He died instantly. But we recovered this note in his breast pocket. He had written it the night before the final push. If it's any consolation, every time he talked about you, he smiled when he said your name." Attached was a blood-streaked page. Crumpled. Faint. It read only, "If you're reading this, I never made it. But I died with your name on my lips." She raised her son alone in that crumbling house. She spoke of Henri often. Of the way he kissed her nose before sunrise. Of how he believed even war couldn't kill beauty. She poured wine each year on Armistice Day, spilling it for him. But she never drank it. And when her son asked why she never touched wine, she smiled sadly and said, "Because it tastes like waiting." Years later, when the vines finally died, Margot packed Henri's letters in a shoebox. She tied them with the same ribbon she wore in her hair the day they met. When she passed away, her son buried that box beneath the fig tree. To this day, when the wind rushes through the leaves, it sounds like paper turning. Like a man still writing. And a woman still waiting. Subscribe for more.